There are stories you hear once and never forget. Not because they're flashy, not because they're dramatic, but because they remind you of one simple truth. It's not over until you say it is. This is the story of a man who refused to give up. Not at 20, not at 40, not even at 65, when the world told him he was too old, too late, and too broken to begin again. His name was Harlan Sanders, but the world would come to know him as Colonel Sanders, the man behind KFC. Harlan was born in 1890 in a small town in Indiana. His father died when he was just 6. His mother worked long hours to keep food on the table, so at age 10, Harlan began cooking, not for fun, but for survival. As he grew, life didn't get easier. He worked job after job: farmhand, streetcar conductor, railroad worker, insurance salesman. Most of them ended in failure. He didn't finish school. He didn't have a safety net. But he had one thing: a relentless will to keep going. In his 40s, Harlan opened a small roadside restaurant in Corbin, Kentucky. He had no formal training, no investors, just a pressure cooker, a secret recipe of herbs and spices, and a dream. People loved his chicken. Word spread. Business grew. For a moment, it seemed like things were finally turning around. Then, the highway changed. A new road redirected traffic away from his little restaurant. Customers vanished. Income dried up. And just like that, everything he had built collapsed. He was 65 years old, broke, alone, living off a monthly Social Security check of just $105. Most people would have accepted that as the end, but not Harlan, because some people see the end of the road, and others, they build a new one. He packed his bags, carried his recipe, and hit the road. His plan? To pitch his fried chicken to restaurants, convince them to serve it in exchange for a small commission, door to door, town to town, with nothing but a beat-up car, a white suit, and unshakable belief. And then came the rejections. 1, 10, 100, 500, 1,009 times the answer was no. Too risky, too old, too weird, too late. Can you imagine that? 1,009 times being told you're not good enough? Most people would have quit. But Harlan didn't need 1,000 people to believe in him. He only needed one. On his 1,010th try, someone finally said yes. A small restaurant agreed to try his chicken, and customers loved it. That first yes changed everything. From one restaurant to 10, from 10 to hundreds. Soon, the Colonel's chicken was being served across the country and then across the world. By the time he was 75 years old, Harlan Sanders had built Kentucky Fried Chicken into a global franchise. He became a multimillionaire, and more importantly, a symbol of perseverance. Not because he never failed, but because he never gave up. Colonel Sanders didn't achieve success at 25 or 35. He found it at 75, and that's the part we forget. Success doesn't follow a schedule. It doesn't care about your age, your background, or how many times you've fallen. It only cares about one thing: will you rise again? So, wherever you are in your journey, maybe you've been rejected. Maybe you failed. Maybe you feel like it's too late, but it's not. Because all it takes is one yes, one door, one opportunity, one moment where everything changes. And you never know. That moment might be closer than you think. So keep going, keep believing, and remember, the world can say no 1,009 times, but all it takes is one yes from you.